Have you ever wondered what's hiding inside places people forgot about? You know, those spots where the walls hold more than just dust. They hold stories, secrets, and sometimes things that should have stayed buried. Today on Exploring Abandoned Places in Ohio, we're taking you inside one of the most haunted spots in the state, the Ohio State Reformatory. This place isn't just creepy, it's the real deal. We're talking ghost stories, eerie sounds in the middle of the night, and a history so dark, even the shadows don't want to let go. Stick around because what happens inside this abandoned prison is more than just a tour. It's a step into something you might regret seeing, but won't be able to forget. The Ohio State Reformatory is more than just an abandoned building. It's a place where the walls seem to whisper, where the past isn't just remembered, it's alive. Built in 1886, this imposing structure was meant to rehabilitate young offenders, but as the years went on, it became something much darker. The prison housed thousands of inmates over the decades, but by the time it closed its doors in 1990, it had become infamous for overcrowding, violence, and poor living conditions. Inside the cold, iron bars, there were countless stories of pain, suffering, and death. And it's these very stories that are said to haunt the building today. As soon as you step inside the Ohio State Reformatory, you feel it. The heaviness, the unease. It's like the walls themselves are holding onto secrets that they refuse to let go. Visitors often report hearing strange noises echoing through the hallways, footsteps, whispers, even the faint sound of chains dragging across the floor. Could these be the restless spirits of former inmates still trapped in the place they called home? One of the most famous haunted spots in the prison is the East Cell Block. Known for its high levels of supernatural activity, this area is said to be where the ghostly figures of former prisoners still walk. Some visitors even claim they felt an icy touch or heard a voice call their name in the dead of night. And who could forget the Shawshank Redemption? Filmed here in 1993, the prison's gothic appearance and haunting atmosphere left a lasting impression on film buffs. And it's no surprise that the ghosts of the past are still hanging around. What makes the Ohio State Reformatory so chilling is not just its history, but the fact that it's still very much alive with paranormal activity. Many people visit this place on ghost hunts or simply to catch a glimpse of the shadows that still move through the old prison. Ghost hunters, urban explorers, and paranormal investigators from all over have experienced strange phenomena here. Objects move on their own, doors slam shut, and some even claim to see figures looming in the windows, but when they investigate, no one is there. If you're brave enough to step inside, you'll find yourself in the dark, echoing hallways of the prison, standing in the very spots where unseen hands might brush against your skin, or where the heavy air feels like it's pressing down on you. The stories are endless, and they're never the same twice. One of the most famous stories is that of a ghostly figure who is said to haunt the prison yard. It's believed to be the spirit of a man who was executed inside the prison. Witnesses describe seeing a shadowy figure walking the yard late at night, often disappearing before anyone can get close enough to investigate. Is it the ghost of a former prisoner still locked in the grounds he once roamed? Or is it something far more sinister? Something that has yet to reveal itself? As Exploring Abandoned Places in Ohio takes you on this journey, you'll find out just why the Ohio State Reformatory is considered one of the most haunted places in the United States. From paranormal activity to eerie sightings, there's no shortage of spine-chilling tales that keep visitors coming back for more. If you're into ghost stories, haunted places, or just the thrill of stepping inside an abandoned prison, then the Ohio State Reformatory should be at the top of your list. The place is far more than a crumbling relic of the past. It's a portal to something darker, a place where time hasn't just stopped. It's frozen in the terror of those who never left. This isn't the end of our journey. As we continue exploring abandoned places in Ohio, we'll discover even more terrifying locations that are shrouded in mystery, horror, and the paranormal. Stay tuned for the next stop on this eerie adventure. Next, we'll visit a place where the dead don't stay buried, where unsolved mysteries continue to haunt the locals, and some say the spirits of the past never left. Ready to step inside? Keep watching as we uncover the truth behind Ohio's haunted history. Last time we left off with a chilling discovery at the Ohio State Reformatory. The prison's unsettling presence followed us, and some say the spirits trapped inside still roam the halls. But there's one place just up the road that might be even more terrifying. It's not a prison. It's not even a building. It's a place where the dead never rest, the Mansfield Cemetery, an old burial ground with a dark and tragic past. The Mansfield Cemetery, located just outside the town of Mansfield, Ohio, is a site steeped in both history and mystery. The cemetery has been in use for over 150 years, and like many old burial grounds, its reputation has grown darker over time. Known for its age-old tombstones, weathered and worn from years of exposure, the cemetery gives off an eerie vibe even on the brightest of days. But it's what lies beneath the surface that's truly terrifying. Mansfield Cemetery is the final resting place for over 20,000 souls, many of whom met untimely deaths, their stories long forgotten by history. As a result, this cemetery has earned a reputation for being one of the most haunted places in Ohio. From ghostly apparitions to strange, unexplained occurrences, there's no shortage of stories about this eerie site. One of the most infamous legends surrounding Mansfield Cemetery is that of the White Lady, a ghostly figure said to haunt the grounds at night. The story goes that she was a young woman who tragically died in a carriage accident many years ago. She was buried in the cemetery, but ever since, visitors have reported seeing her ghost wandering between the graves, draped in a flowing white gown. Her face is often hidden by a veil, and she is said to cry softly as she walks through the gravestones. Some say the White Lady is searching for something she lost, perhaps a lost love or a forgotten memory. But others believe her ghost is a warning, a presence meant to keep intruders away. Those who've stayed too long in the cemetery after dark often report feeling a sudden chill or hearing whispers that seem to come from nowhere. No one has ever managed to get close enough to speak to the White Lady. Those who have tried report feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, as though they're being watched by something much darker than a lost soul. One of the most eerie spots in Mansfield Cemetery is the grave of the unknown soldier, an unmarked grave that locals believe holds the remains of a Civil War soldier. This grave has become a focal point for paranormal investigators and curious visitors alike, many of whom report seeing strange phenomena when they approach it. The grave is marked only by a simple weathered stone, and yet there are numerous stories of strange lights that flicker around it at night. Some say it's the soldier's restless spirit still guarding his final resting place, unable to rest until his identity is revealed. Others claim to have heard the faint sound of drums or marching boots echoing through the cemetery late at night, as if the soldier is preparing for battle once again. Locals say that the cemetery is haunted by the spirits of soldiers from various wars, each one with their own story. In fact, it's believed that the land was once used as a military burial ground before it became a public cemetery. If you listen carefully, you can sometimes hear faint whispers of commands from another era carried on the wind. Visitors to Mansfield Cemetery often report strange occurrences, unexplained cold spots, footsteps that echo in the silence, and the feeling of being followed. The most disturbing part, however, is the sensation that you're never truly alone. Some claim to have seen figures darting between the gravestones, shadows that move too quickly to be human. One of the most chilling stories comes from a group of urban explorers who decided to spend the night at the cemetery. They set up cameras to capture the strange phenomena they'd heard about. But what they captured was far beyond their expectations. As the night grew darker, they started hearing low, guttural growls coming from the trees surrounding the cemetery. The temperature dropped, and the wind seemed to pick up, howling through the branches like a spirit trapped in the air. As they moved toward one of the older gravestones, they noticed something horrifying. One of their cameras had caught a figure, a tall, shadowy shape that appeared to be moving between the graves, watching them. The figure had no face, just an indistinct blur of darkness. As the group hurried to pack up and leave, the growls grew louder and the air became thick with a suffocating presence. Today, Mansfield Cemetery is still open to the public, though visitors are advised to tread carefully. While some come to pay their respects to loved ones, others come for the haunting experience of exploring one of Ohio's most notorious haunted cemeteries. For those brave enough to visit after dark, it's a place where the past comes alive, where the spirits of the dead seem to never fully rest. The cemetery is often quiet, but if you're paying attention, you might hear the faint sound of footsteps, the distant call of a drumbeat, or the soft whisper of a ghostly figure calling your name. You thought the Ohio State Reformatory was unsettling? Well, wait until you hear the story of the House of Wills, a place that has its own dark history and is said to be one of the most haunted houses in all of Ohio. Stay tuned as we explore the terrifying past of a mansion that holds secrets no one should ever uncover. Up next on Exploring Abandoned Places in Ohio is the House of Wills in Cleveland. This isn't your typical abandoned house. It's a mansion with a dark history, filled with secrets that were never meant to be uncovered. The House of Wills started as an elegant mansion in the early 1900s. Built by a wealthy funeral director, it was designed to be a lavish funeral home. But over time, it became known for something far darker than its intended purpose. Rumors spread about the unusual deaths that occurred here, with whispers of strange rituals and disappearances linked to the property. By the time it closed, the house had earned a terrifying reputation, leaving it to rot in the shadow of Cleveland's most infamous urban legends. Today, the House of Wills is nothing but a decaying shell of its former self. But the haunting stories are alive and well. Ghost hunters and urban explorers alike have reported hearing disembodied whispers, loud bangs, and even the sound of footsteps echoing in empty rooms. People who've dared to venture inside claim to have seen shadowy figures lurking in dark corners, and some say they've been physically touched by an unseen presence. The most chilling accounts come from those who claim to have seen the spirit of a woman in a white dress roaming the halls. A woman said to have died under mysterious circumstances. One of the most unsettling things about the House of Wills is how it seems to attract the unexplained. In the stillness of the night, the house feels alive with dark energy, as if it's holding on to something or someone that refuses to leave. For years, it's been a hotspot for paranormal investigators, but no one has ever been able to explain the malevolent force that seems to haunt every inch of the property. Every time someone steps foot inside the House of Wills, they're left with more questions than answers. But what if the house isn't just haunted by spirits? What if the true evil inside is something far more dangerous? Like this video and subscribe to this channel for more stories like this.